Good morning, Cullman High School faculty, staff, students, and parents. My name is Logan Sugarts, and I am the incoming Student Government Association President. It is an honor to be here this morning, and I would like to welcome all of you to the 2015-16 SGA Installation. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the National Anthem, which will be played by Shannon McNeil, followed by a moment of silence. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I would like to welcome our stage guests this morning. Please hold your applause until everyone is introduced. Dr. Elton Bolden, Principal. Mrs. Alyssa Pylant and Ms. Sarah McCutcheon, SGA Sponsors. Mr. Todd Greenlee, Guest Speaker. Ms. Shannon McNeil, Band President. Ms. Ann Carol Braswell, Incoming SGA Vice President. Ms. Taya Ponder, Incoming SGA Secretary. Ms. Grace Binkowski, Incoming SGA Treasurer. Ms. Liz Tankersley, Incoming SGA Parliamentarian. You may be seated. Cullman High School students, faculty, and friends, I welcome you to the annual installation of the CHS Student Government Association Installation. This event will be presented to you as a ceremony, but has the very real intent of providing a formal and authentic process that invites students, through these representatives, to take an active role in the betterment of the campus life for all students. Specifically, the SGA purposes are in part to review and propose policy and practices of Cullman High School, to ensure the fair treatment and optimum service to all CHS students, represent student concerns to Cullman High School administrators and faculty, supervise the spending of student monies to best preserve the greatest interest of the students, enhance the social and intellectual welfare of the students, foster a spirit of cooperation between the student body and the faculty. It is my utmost concern that we as officers and representatives meet this challenge so that we may represent your best interests during the upcoming school year here at Cullman High School. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Bolden for the installation of the student government officers.
Thank you. Thank you. At this time, will each of the student government elect officers please stand to complete your oath of office? Would Parliamentarian-elect Ms. Liz Tankersley please step forward? Ms. Tankersley, your classmates have elected you parliamentarian. On their behalf, it will be your duty to sit next to the presiding officer during meetings. You may provide explanations or advice, but not rulings, which are always made by the presiding officer. The specific duties of the parliamentarian are to give advice to the president and members during meetings. Inform the president of errors in parliamentary procedure if they affect the basic rights of the members, and give advice to members during times when there is not a meeting in process. Do you solemnly pledge to fulfill your duties to the best of your ability? Would Treasurer-elect Ms. Grace Pinkowski please step forward? Ms. Pinkowski, your classmates have elected you treasurer for the CHS Student Government Association. On their behalf, it will be your duty to provide physical leadership through careful attention to the disbursement and receipt of Student Government Association funds. You are expected to attend all meetings and carry out the responsibilities vested in you by the students of Cullman High School. Do you solemnly pledge to fulfill your duties to the best of your ability? Would Secretary-elect Ms. Taya Ponder please step forward? Ms. Ponder, your classmates have elected you Secretary of the CHS Student Government Association. On their behalf, it will be your duty to provide a permanent record of all official meetings and communications of the student government. You are expected to attend all meetings and carry out the responsibilities vested in you by the students of Cullman High School. Do you solemnly pledge to fulfill your duties to the best of your ability? Will Vice President-elect Ms. Ann Carol Braswell step forward? Ms. Braswell, your classmates have elected you Vice President of the Student Government Association. On their behalf, it will be your duty to assist the President in all duties and assume the role of President upon his absence. You are expected to attend all meetings and carry out the responsibilities vested in you by the students of Cullman High School. Do you solemnly pledge to fulfill your duties to the best of your ability? Would President-elect Mr. Logan Sugars please step forward? Mr. Sugars, your classmates have chosen you for the highest office of the Student Government Association. Being elected SGA President is a great honor that carries with it great responsibilities. Your classmates have entrusted you the duty to represent them during the upcoming year at Cullman High School. Furthermore, the students and faculty will expect you and your officer team to live out the CHS legacy of character, citizenship, and scholarship. This challenge will take vision, purpose, and teamwork. In light of these ideals, do you solemnly pledge to devote the time necessary to fulfill the duties of President to the best of your ability? Congratulations, officers. You are now officially assumed the duties of Student Government Officers for Cullman High School. Let's show our appreciation to our officers. And you may be seated. President Sugars, it gives me great pleasure to present you the gavel, which is the symbol of your authority as Cullman High School's SGA President. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Bolden. It is my honor to be able to work with these officers, and I look forward to also working with the newly elected representatives. At this time, I would like to introduce the newly elected SGA representatives. Please hold your applause until I've introduced each grade level. Representing the class of 2019 is Gracie Opple, Freshman Class President. Nicholas Vondren, Freshman Class Vice President. Blake Spradlin, Freshman Class Secretary. Mary Kate Stanford, Freshman Class Treasurer. The representatives are Millie Legain, Amanda Hill, Anna Grace Murphy, and Lucas Gibson. Let's show our appreciation to these representatives. Representing the class of 2018 is Hayden Henderson, Sophomore Class President. Brianna Turner, Sophomore Class Vice President. Anna Franklin, sophomore class secretary. Ethan Hendricks, sophomore class treasurer. The representatives are Jade Bailey, Mallory Johnson, Tori Lynn, and Dawson Sugarts. Let's show our appreciation to these representatives. Representing the class of 2017 is Brooke Ledbetter, junior class president. Callie Hollingsworth, junior class vice president. Ella Thomas, junior class secretary. Kate Hood, junior class treasurer. The representatives are Zach Bell, Caitlin Cook, Drew Fillinger, and Noah Fondren. Let's show our appreciation to these representatives. Representing the class of 2016 is Laura Ellard, senior class president. Ellie Dixon, senior class vice president. Jesse Kennedy, senior class secretary. Hope Mason, senior class treasurer. The representatives are Molly Baker, Brinley Rainwater, Anna Trevarthen, and Kylie Witcher. Let's show our appreciation to these representatives. Would all the SGA representatives-elect stand at this time? Please repeat after me. We, the SGA members of Cullman High School, do solemnly pledge to fulfill our delegated duties to promote good character, to serve as citizens worthy of our responsibility, and work for the good of all Cullman High School students. You may be seated. Congratulations to our new inductees. Let's show them our appreciation. At this time, please welcome Grace Minkowski to the podium.
Our speaker today is the youth pastor at West Point First Baptist Church, and someone who means a lot to me. He's taught me that to be successful, you can't overthink the situation. He's also taught me a lot about faith and the importance of treating people kindly. I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Todd Greenlee.
Thank you, Grace. Good morning, Bearcats. All right, good to see you all awake this morning. My name is Todd Greenlee. I'm student pastor at West Point First Baptist Church, as Grace said. I've been asked this morning to come and speak to you about student relationships and building and sustaining those relationships. And it's a great honor to be here this morning. So I thank you for allowing me. So as you guys live your lives as students here at Cullman, you are going to have a chance to build relationships and make friendships. So building and sustaining stronger friendships is a challenge for many people. Sadly, this is not a class that you guys are taught here. This is not something that you get pulled aside and learn. We're often relegated to learn this on the fly and we rely on our trial and error to learn how to make friends and keep friends. While one can certainly live life alone, a much richer life is experienced when one develops deep, meaningful relationships. Put simply, we need each other. The key to developing lasting friendships is to shift from thinking only of yourself and to thinking of others. Relationship building is about being a positive influence in someone else's life, to bring value to others. Friendships certainly add value to our lives. This morning, I'd just like to give you a few suggestions on how to build and sustain lasting friendships. First of all, I'd just like to look at some common mistakes that we make. The first mistake is taking before giving. The best relationships have a give and take aspect to it. You give and you receive in a friendship. Every time when you need encouragement. And so you'll receive that encouragement, but you also should give encouragement. The goal is to build up some reserves in the other person's emotional bank account that you can draw on during hard times that will certainly come in friendships. The point is simple. Give as much as you can with no immediate expectations. In doing so, you help each other. If two friends both give, then there is an inherent receiving on the other end. And this is how friendships work. The mistake, of course, being taking without the giving. The second mistake we often make in friendships is being an opportunistic friend. Some people are very status conscious when it comes to friendships. They form friendships based on who they believe can improve their popularity, who can make them more likable. They tend to not pursue friendships with those who are perceived to be at a lower social status, not as popular, maybe not as cool. In doing so, and if you're a part of this practice, you might be missing out on some of the most meaningful relationships of your life. I've found the longest relationships in my life are those people that I probably would not have talked to in high school. The third mistake, very common that we make, is limiting your friend circle. Limiting your friend circle, it really kind of robs you of the richness of friendship. Developing friends with those that are similar to yourself or someone who has the same interest as you really can hurt you in the long run. We need to be challenged to grow. You athletes know that there is part of your training, there's weight training, there's resistance, there's a push, there is a workout. We often need these in friendships as well. Someone to challenge us, to push us. If you never venture to the other side of the quad to meet people different from yourself, you will condemn yourself to having the same experiences, the same conversations, and eventually those conversations become stale and the friendships tend to burn out. So seeing those three common mistakes, I'd like to challenge you and encourage you and give you some helps and some characteristics to sustain friendships that you make. Once you overcome those mistakes and learn to make friends, there's a good secret to sustaining those relationships. 6 characteristics in particular help you. The first being compassion. You must be sympathetic to others' lives and problems and have a desire to alleviate distress. Understand that others may be going through tough times and learn to see life through their eyes for a better understanding of your friend. Learn to empathize. You may be missing out on something. You may not see what they are seeing. If you learn compassion, if you put on compassion in your relationships, it will take you far. The second characteristic, kindness. Once you see life through the eyes of others, you have a response. You can choose to respond with harsh words or harsh actions, or you can choose to respond in kindness. Let me admonish you, respond in kindness. An encouraging word spoken, an uplifting note written, or a simple good deed does wonders for the person who receives that kindness. Guaranteed, they will not forget those who are kind. The third characteristic, humility. Learn to put others before yourself. We live in a world that tells us to look out for number one. And if everybody's looking out for number one, then friendships are impossible. When you put others before yourself, this shows that you care for your friends at the highest level. When you value your friends over your own feelings, wants, and desires, they will happily do the same for you. Fourth characteristic is patience, or another way of saying this is long suffering, which truly sometimes patience is suffering long. Bearing the pains and trials of friendship calmly, without complaint, is one of the hardest things in life to master. But in doing so, you will strengthen your friendship more than anything else. When a friend knows that they can make mistakes with you and you won't blow up and go crazy on them, your friend will be more honest with you. Your relationship will deepen and there will be a greater level of trust between you. The fifth characteristic, forgiveness. Inevitably, in every relationship, one person will wrong the other. When this happens, forgiving can be difficult, but if you will keep in mind that sooner or later you will do the same, it will become easier to forgive your friend. We are not perfect. Nobody here is. We are going to falter at times. Understand, you will receive forgiveness only as often as you give it. The sixth, and probably the most important characteristic in all relationships, is love. Love, love covers a multitude of sins. Let me tell you a little story about what love can do. I am a father of 3 wonderful children. I have a 7-year-old daughter, a son who in a week or so will be 3 years old, and a 1-year-old. I was the guy that said I would never be a parent. I would never father children. I'm not going down that road. Well, 2008, we were blessed with a little girl, and I immediately started to freak out. Because the biggest problem I had with children were, of course, diapers. They're nasty. They're rough. One time in particular, my daughter, being my first child, we could tell that there was a change in her future needed immediately. So I took it upon myself to be a good husband and father to take her and change the diaper. Let me just say, it was not pleasant. I don't know when she decided to go mud wrestling, but it was everywhere. To this day, I shudder. But as a father and loving my daughter, I made it through. And I have changed many more since then. Love can make a new parent change a dirty diaper. Love can make a redneck write poetry. Think about that. Well, we have some rednecks out there. Love is the most important element in any relationship. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things. Love never fails. When you truly love others, relationships become easier somehow. When you love others, compassion, kindness, humility, patience, and forgiveness, and all these characteristics we just discussed, they all seem to come naturally. Please take these words here and apply it to your lives. Friendships are a gift from God. During your years here at Cullman High School, you will have many chances to build and sustain many friendships. Let me encourage you. Make as many friends as you can. After graduation, people tend to scatter. And it's because of this fact that graduation night brings tears and stories of times past spent together. This only happens with those who have made great friends during their time here. When that day comes, don't be the person at graduation that doesn't need a Kleenex. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greenlee. As president of the student body, my main goal is to see school and class collaboration. I do not want just a normal school year. I want people to be interested and involved, and I am willing to challenge myself to go the distance to motivate our school. My aim is to make you feel more appreciated, and more recognized, and more supported. Today, I stand here as president of the student body, but I remember when I was sitting in the balcony as a young Cullman High School student listening to the president's speech 3 years ago. I had no plans for high school, and I thought I could just make it to senior and have a good time. Boy, did I need a wake-up then. So as president, I'm here to provide guidance to all of you. Freshmen, I can only imagine what's going through your head right now as you are still trying to figure out high school. Well, if that's the case, just look around. You are in the perfect position to observe your upperclassmen. We've maintained an excellent reputation of class and tradition of excellence. Earned through the years of students who have worked hard, carried themselves well, and always had respect for their campus, classmates, teachers, students, and administrators. This year will be full of exciting events, and you will want to make sure you pay attention to all of them, because you have 3 more years here and you need to perfect them. Here's to freshman year. Sophomores, now that you have freshman year behind you, you're well on your way through this journey. This year and the next couple of years, you will begin to learn what makes high school so important. You've already learned the ropes, and now you're just getting into the swing of things. Stay patient, things will change, but just go with the flow. Everything's going to be all right. It's just 2 more years. Here's to sophomore year. Juniors, while yes, you may think you have it all down by now, but junior is a little bit more important than that. It is where your friendships are established and involvement is key. You may be taking harder courses, and now is the time to buckle down. You'll get sick of hearing this, but senior year will be here before you know it. So just enjoy this year, try hard, and have fun. 1 more year. Here's to junior year. Well, seniors, we're finally here. This is what we've waited for, but my, how the time has flown by. Doesn't it seem like yesterday we were the ones sitting on the balcony looking at everyone else? Now it's time to look, everyone looks at us. We've been through a lot. We've had major wins and huge losses. We've gained new friends, and we've lost loved ones. We of all people know how important each and every day truly is. So my challenge is not to spoil it. Soon we'll be deciding where we want to go to college or how we want to spend the rest of our lives. We should strive to make the most of our time here, and I hope you are all looking forward to a year full of exciting events. Regardless of what happens and how our future may turn out, we'll always be able to say that we're a proud Cullman Bearcat. Here's to senior year. So with that said, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, I'd like to challenge you all. Cullman High School is a school of excellence. It is a school where tradition is continued and standards are upheld. Now, I also know competition is a big part of what we do. But just look around. All that aside, we are family. All of us sitting here is what makes up a Cullman High School. We are what keeps the traditions alive. My challenge is short and simple, because nothing I'd ask of you isn't what I'd do myself. It is to go beyond the minimum. Every day, strive to push yourself in ways you have not before. The difference that you can make can impact how others go through the day. Speak up in class, get others' point of view. Just absolutely go crazy at the next pep rally. Show your school spirit, because after all, this is what high school is all about. The journey and the memories that come along with it are wonderful. And it only comes around once. And high school should be the time of our life that we look back on and wish we could be here again. Let's make this year the best we can, so we know it is because of that we had such a great time. I would like to congratulate all the new SGA representatives and officers. It is going to be an exciting year at Cullman High School, and I cannot wait to begin working with this great group of students. Many activities and fall sports have already begun, but I encourage you to participate in the activities and support our teams. Your class officers have successfully designed t-shirts, backdrops, and supplies for our much anticipated pep rallies, and the participation in competition among classes has been outstanding. Your student government officers, representatives, have been preparing for this school year so that all of us will carry it in our memories, and to make this year an amazing year at Cullman High School. Thank you for your attention during the SGA installation. Also, a big thank you to Dr. Bolton, the sound and light crew, Shannon McNeil, Mary's Flowers of Chambers Farm and Garden for this beautiful arrangement. And thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a great year. Go Bearcats.